Hi there YouTube, this is Daniel, back again with another YouTube video. This time it's my comic book haul for August and some other stuff that I picked up since last time. First off, I would like to show you guys some variants I picked up and some other stuff that I happened to get since last time as well. And the first one you can see is Redneck issue 1, this 25th anniversary silver foil variant. I think it was the cover B for that month or for that series. I really liked this one. I decided, however, to go with this in trade after reading issue 1, since I had at the time too many issues to pick up. I also managed to find this gold foil variant, which was kind of nice to have as well. I enjoyed this series, but I decided to go with it in a more of a trade read. I decided that it was gonna be read best that way. And then I ordered a print by Sean Phillips from his website. And with that print, he sent me a image first, one of those try it if you like it issues of issue 1, and he signed it, which is kind of nice. I did not expect that, did not ask for it, but it's always a nice surprise to get something extra when you order a print or something like that. And then my comic shop, my LCS, had a sort of raffle earlier in the summer, and I happened to win in that raffle a signed issue 14 of the Guardians of the Galaxy with Nick Bradshaw's signature, as you can see there, which is quite awesome. And then my LCS surprised me with a gift of sorts, a sort of miniature poster or a bookplate signed by Jeff Lemire and by Dean Ormston. I think they did this for all the comic shops that have been ordering some quantity of their series so far. And they thought of me when they received this, which is really nice of them. So let's dive into the haul itself. And first off, we have a series called Crosswind. This is a back issue of June, I think, or no, I think it was maybe July. July's back issue. This is a very fun, really interesting body swap type story. I've seen it before, but it's well done and really fun to read how these characters deal with it. And this month's issue as well, issue 3. Then we have Black Hammer issue 12 by Jeff Lemire and art by David Rubin. The art works really well for this series, even though I tend to prefer Dean Ormston's art, but I like the story. Twice now David Rubin has been doing the art for the series, and both times I think the story has taken a bit of a turn to a side note or side story dealt with efficiently, basically. Still enjoyable. I can't wait to see Dean Ormston back on art though. And I'm gonna be interested to see what they do with this miniseries that David Rubin and Jeff Lemire is gonna do, connected to this series. And then we have Exo Manowar, a really fun series, straightforward, no nonsense, basically a freight train running amok. So many things going on and being dealt with efficiently with this series. And in this issue, Arik goes to a meeting with local politicians with the Azure, and things go wrong there, and they quickly investigate and decide that they have been betrayed by someone, or learn that they have been betrayed. A really good series so far, which has gotten me more and more interested in the Valiant universe. And then we have 7 to Eternity issue 8. Originally, Jerome Peña did art and written by Rick Remender, and guest artist with this issue as well as the last issue is James Harren. The art worked well for this side note or side tangent of a story. And in the next issue, I think we're gonna get back to Adamositis as the main protagonist and the main focus of the story. And then we have Batman issue 28 and issue 29 for that matter. This one contained a lot of Deathstroke and Deadshot battles, which didn't really interest me that much, but and this one contained a meeting or a dinner with Bruce Wayne, Joker, and the Riddler, which felt really out of character for all of them involved. But yeah, this story has been quite of a drag so far. This could have been wrapped up in a 2 or 3 issue story arc, but it's gonna be dragged out into 8 including 2 interludes. And the next issue, number 30, is gonna be an interlude with the Kite Man again, and that's gonna be fun to see how that ends. But it's not gonna end well for Kite Man, I think. Savage Things, issue number 6, by Vertigo. Justin Jordan and Ibrahim Mustafa on art. I really do enjoy this miniseries. It's gonna be 8 issues in total, and the story keeps jumping back and forth in time to where these sort of antagonists, their group, how they were trained and stuff, and how that ties into what's happening in the present of the story. Really great, interesting, thrillery storytelling, and the mayor is not in a good place here in this story. Yeah, I should think that people would find this a good read, so maybe look for it in a trade in the future if you have missed it so far. Hawkeye issue 9. This series has been hit and miss for some issues now. Some issues are great, some issues aren't that great. This one was kind of fun. I do tend to read it because I like the character of Kate Bishop as Hawkeye, and the artwork works really well. And hopefully we're gonna get like a full story arc, like a 6 or 5 issue story arc. But since the first 4 or 5 issues, it's been 2 or 3 issue arcs that's been concluding. It's nothing wrong with that, but I would like to see more of a longer story arc and more focusing on her abilities and how they play into this. Extremity issue 6 out of 12 now. Daniel Warren Johnson is on art and script. He confirmed that this series will be a 12 issue series, which is kind of nice to know that there is gonna be there is a planned ending to the story. And I think that this story can't really go on for too long as well. They could probably expand it into another miniseries or something like that with different characters, but I have, however, enjoyed it, and it's a very dark story, and how this chieftain of a people have lost his senses. Basically, he's consumed by the need of revenge, and how his children, who are expected to follow him no matter what, kind of starts to question question him and what is best for their people and stuff. So yeah, I have enjoyed reading this story so far, and I can't wait to see the conclusion with the next couple of 6 issues. Then we have Hadrian's Wall, issue 8 out of 8. So this concludes the series. This has been a fun, interesting, thrilling ride that has been surprising me from time to time, which I do like. This was, however, delayed for some reason, and I don't know why, but there might have been something with the art. I'm not sure. The art at the back of the book kind of looks a bit rushed, so there might have been something with Rodriguez. He might have had to deal with something, or maybe he was on contract for something else. I don't know. This, however, is a great series, so if you have been on the fence about this when it was released, you should pick it up in a trade, I think. I think if you like sci-fi or mysteries, you would probably enjoy this series. And then we have some back issues. Briggs Land, issue 1 and 2, and then, of course, number 3 as well. This is gonna be a mini-series of 6 issues, Briggs Land, Lone Wolves. And these 3 issues basically deals with the Briggs Land compound as a successionist group, and 2 hikers accidentally wander us onto their land, and things go wrong from there. Really interesting, and I'm amazed that Brian Wood could kind of pack so much into these 3 issues and actually conclude it in a satisfying way, and still leave some things for the next 3 issues, which I think will be focusing on the patriarch of this compound, or this group, being held in prison, his deal with the government and stuff like that. So it's going to be really interesting. Then we have The Defenders issue 4, and I do like this series. I find it fun to read. Interesting villain with Diamondback, and this new drug that's been flooding the streets. And I like the artwork. The story is fun. In this issue, they focused more on Iron Fist and Black Hat, and on what's her name, Jessica Jones. I too tend to hear that people don't like Brian Michael Bendis when he writes a team book, but I don't really see the concerns that people have in this series so far, at least. And then we have The Flash number 28, and of course number 29 as well. I really have enjoyed this new story arc that's been coming out this month with the Negative Flash, and I really enjoyed reading this because it's new territory basically, with the Flash as a protagonist. His powers are, he doesn't know how to control his powers anymore, and what he can do and can't do, which I find interesting. I have enjoyed this, and the art by Carmine Di Giandomenico, and then what's that name? Popman and Christian Douche is really great as well. Really works for the character. Now we have Detective Comics issue 962, which concludes this intelligence story arc in a very satisfying way, and it props up Azrael as a new force to be reckoned with, I think, in the Rebirth universe. Maybe he might get like a miniseries in the future, or maybe he will take more of a prominent position in this Bat Family comic that Detective Comics is. And then we have Batman Detective Comics Anarchy or Utopia story arc. I think it's gonna be 2 issues. I kind of think that this issue dropped in quality in storytelling, dialogue wise, and the execution of the story somehow. And it kind of dawned on me when I saw that Tynion IV wasn't actually writing the story. He was just responsible for the story, and then Christopher Sabella had responsibility for the words. And that might be why I didn't find it as good as the previous issues. And then we have Batwoman issue 6. This kind of touches on a thing that they kind of hinted on in the first Rebirth issue, basically introducing the character. And this takes place 5 years in the future with Batwoman, or Kate Kane, in charge of the colony with the help of Jason Todd, I think. And this was a very cool, or was a coolish take on the future Gotham, and what a Batman person might have done in the future, depending on who that is. And I won't spoil that, who that is, who that's being revealed to be. But yeah, this got me a bit interested again with Batwoman. I've been kind of contemplating on dropping the title since the first arc has been very slow. But yeah, this one picked up quite well. Then we have Invincible Iron Man issue 10. This one got back to the first arc basically in quality and story, with how Riri is portrayed. I found it a lot more fun to read, and yeah, I am back on board with Invincible Iron Man. It's gonna be interesting to see how this plays into Generations and what's gonna happen in the future for Invincible Iron Man. If Riri is gonna be getting her own title in the future and Tony is back, I don't know how this is gonna play out. But yeah, I still have my theory that Tony Stark is gonna come back as Iron Man soon enough. And then we have Trinity issue 12. This time we have a new writer on board with Rob Williams. This continues the story started with one of those Cullen Bunn issues, and then what happened in the annual issue. Yeah, it's gonna be Trinity of Trinities, I think, and this kind of looked interesting with the demons and stuff, Deadman showing up, and Constantine and stuff. And yeah, we'll see what Rob Williams does with this in the future. I might stay on for the conclusion of this arc at least, since Manipul is not sticking with the book. I think I might drop it as well. Then we have Mr. Miracle issue 1, and I mainly jumped on this because of Tom King and Mitch Gerrits. The artwork, awesomeness, basically, and the story is a slow burn basically, but still good, really good. And I think the series that's gonna be a maxi series for 12 issues is gonna be a very slow burn. Still very intrigued to see what's gonna happen here. Then we have Kill or Be Killed issue number 11, new story arc, and this one kind of calls back to what happened in the first issue in a very good way. I maintain my position on that this is one of the best series that are on the market basically, or on the stands, or on the shelves. I just can't get enough of this. I want more. Each issue ends too quickly, and yeah, I am really interested to see what they do with this series, what their plans are. And I think we're gonna get a more deep focus on what happens with the Russians in this story. Grass Kings issue 6. I've been enjoying this series since the start. The artwork is awesome as well. I tend to like these opening sequences that takes place around the lake in fantasy or in the history of the lake. And in this one, this arc concludes with a bang basically. And I saw a interview on YouTube with Tyler Jenkins that basically where he said that there are 18 issues planned, and each arc of 6 issues is gonna take a different direction in storytelling. And this concludes with a bang, and the next arc is gonna be focusing on the crime aspect or investigation of a crime of the serial killer they have been hinting throughout the story, which is gonna be a bit more interesting, I think. And the last issue for this haul is Hulk number 9, and yeah, I've been enjoying this series with Jen Walters as Hulk, and this arc, the last couple of issues, has been her investigating this happening where a online personality having a baking show got poisoned with a sort of drug that turned him into a Hulk-like monster. The art changes though halfway through the issue to a totally different art style, and each character looks really different as well, so kind of threw me off a bit. But yeah, still a good series, and I think this is gonna be a casualty of the Generations initiative from Marvel. I think they're gonna rename the series to She-Hulk and put a new number like 156 or 59 or something like that, and I'll see if I continue the series from there or not. So that's it. That's my haul for this month. And if you have any questions or any thoughts about these books, let me know in the comments and we'll have a discussion down below. And until next time, have a great week of reading and see you around. Bye bye.